Peter, that's quite a trajectory you've mentioned. You started by saying that initially there were challenges with COVID, but then you had to re-strategize everything. And what a journey it has been in 2 years. Look at the kind of announcement that you have made, the fleet expansion plan that you have recently announced, and of course, introduction of stretch and loyalty a program, all after 18 years. Why this move now?
These are all building blocks towards what we want to achieve in 2030. And so if you look at the decisions over the past 2.5 years, first we did a massive fleet order of 500 aircraft, the largest single aircraft type order ever made in the world. And that's done by IndiGo. And today we have an order book of like 900 planes yet to be delivered. So that was the first building block. The second building block was making sure that we cater for the aspirational India. And the aspirational India needs to also to have a proper business class proposition. That's why we felt on the nation's busiest and business routes, the business class was there. With the other change of India, by people taking more and more and more flights, that's where the loyalty program comes in. And I would say lastly part of that is the internationalization. For a very long time, a lot of Indian international air travel was connecting to places just outside the geographical scope of India. I think with the growth we are doing, and actually as recent as last weekend, we started our 38th international destination, Medina, out of Hyderabad. We really embark on the journey of that internationalization. So these are all building blocks to make sure that when it's 2030, IndiGo is one of the global aviation giants.
Wonderful. You've mentioned that how your growth story is like, but where do you think the focus will be, domestic or international, for future expansion plans for IndiGo?
Well, I would say both. Domestic is the very foundation of what we have. I mean, India's home, and India is the very basis of what we do. So today we operate to 90 and soon 91 domestic destinations. Think about that. 87% of the Indian population lives within 100 kilometers of an IndiGo-served airport. You think about that. 87% Indian population within 100 kilometers. And we can discuss whether 100 kilometers, 2-hour drive or 3-hour drive, it doesn't matter. It's just, that's the distance. So that's a very important factor. But when we look to the number of routes, we still have a huge opportunity to start building the domestic network. It's still largely underserved, looking at the population and the economy. So that's going to remains the very foundation of who we are and what we do. But alongside with that, the international scope, where we have the opportunity to add a lot of new destinations and even further destinations, it will have a larger growth percentage, but the majority of our available seat kilometers, of course, is still going to be domestic. Today, that's around 30%, used to be around 15, now it's 30, so it just doubled in terms of size. And we have quite a lot of success stories recently: Baku, Almaty, Tbilisi, Tashkent. So everyone knows Phuket and Singapore and Dubai. We all know that works. But these new destinations also work very well. So we're very encouraged by these successes.
Right. Peter, you just mentioned that the focus is both on domestic and international. Well, conventionally, IndiGo has this image of being the airline for its people of India, a low-cost airline that's serving tickets and prices at an affordable cost. Are we looking at a change of identity? Are you now trying and targeting to be a global airline? Because you'd mentioned that by 2030, you do see yourself as one of the eyes in the skies.
Yeah, well, we are building on what we are. We're expanding. We're not changing the fundamentals of the company. The three customer promises: affordable fares, courteous and hassle-free service, and on-time performance, were the very foundation of the success of IndiGo. And that will continue to be like that. And knowing India and knowing the Indian consumer, which is a very value-conscious consumer, we have to remain competitive. We have to keep our cost leadership. So that identity will remain the very same. And I would say our service is really one of the strong assets of IndiGo. So we continue to build on that. We continue to expand that. But the network itself, like India, I would say, is getting more and more connected to other parts of the world.
So you do realize that the priority lies with India?
Yeah, no, our customer basis today is very much India. Even though we fly international, the customer basis is India. But more and more, and I think there's still a great opportunity for the country. Park IndiGo for a minute. The number of foreign visitors in India is very limited still. I think there's a great opportunity. Look at how many UNESCO world sites we have in India and how little visitors we have. So the opportunity to build on that and to bring also foreigners here, Indians abroad, but also foreigners here, I think there's a great opportunity out there to start building on that.